Hey guys, we're going live. Sorry I have not been super active on the channel, but I have been going live more regularly. So here we are going live. Actually, I'm gonna sit you guys right here. I'm in bed. I like to go live in my bed. That is what I like to do. And I got a project. So let's do it. If you don't know from the live that I watched or did last couple days back, I can't remember when it was. It was recent. If you saw that live, then you'll know I've gotten pretty far with my sweater. I have this yarn, which is a mess, and we will need to rewind them. And then I have this yarn, which is also a mess, which we will also need to rewind because it is just a mess. But I need to get my yarn ball winder and start. I made yarn cakes to make it easier to work the projects, to work the sweater, because I was like, well, it's gonna be multiple pieces, and I want to be able, you know, to have cakes in here. So we are winding this up. This yarn is a hot mess. It's fine. We have. I can confirm from my size body that the sweater I'm making, you have enough yarn with 2 pounds of yarn. I've got this one, which still is the centerfold. It's just a mess right now, but we're using it. We're working it. And then of one of the skeins, we still have this because I wanted to do the sleeves at the same time. Both of the sleeves, so I made them into yarn cakes. So one of the skeins, we still have this and this, and we have one completed sleeve. I added an additional 2 extra rows. You're probably wondering, like, that's not going to be long enough, but you have to accommodate for the overhang of the shoulder because you're not doing the shoulder, you're literally just doing the sleeve. Like, see right on this one. You can see here it has like a little seam because the sleeve is not, the sleeve and shoulder are completely separate. So you don't want to crochet a sleeve that goes from here all the way up to the shoulder because the shoulder is part of the body, so you don't want to do that. So you actually don't have to make as long of a sleeve as you think you do. So that's great. And we did try this sleeve on in the last live. It wasn't this long, but it actually holds its shape pretty well. I am going to be soon doing a review on this. It is the Just yarn from, let's see, I think I have a label. I saved this label because I'm going to be showing this label when I do my live. Our Dollar Tree does not have a large selection of this. It does in the smaller amounts, but not in the regular amounts. So this is Premier brand. It's their cheaper quality. It's Premier just 1 pound. So it's 982 yards, 898 meters, 16 ounces, and 454 grams. So I'm going to have leftovers of this yarn to make stuff with. Like, I could make a matching hat and fingerless gloves, or regular gloves, or mittens, or probably a scarf or a million other things for that matter. I'm going to have a lot more leftover than I thought I was going to have, so yeah, I got 2 of these because I wanted to make sure I had enough, and I wasn't initially sure I would have enough, but 2 pounds is probably more than what I need. I will say you do need more than a pound for sure, at least for my size. I'm like a large, extra large. But you definitely don't need 2 full pounds. So I will be not speaking in this video on whether or not I really like the yarn a ton, or just anything too specific about the yarn, because I do want to save that for the review that I'm going to do. Also, I want to do another video coming up where I review my Clover Amour hooks again and compare them with another brand of ergonomic hooks that I own, and let you guys know which ones are better for the price point, which ones work for me, which ones don't work as well for me. Like a comparison, like this hook versus this hook type thing. So stay tuned for that, because I want to film that as well. And yeah, I got 2 of these. So if you're like a large, extra large, you're like roughly my size. Then definitely get 2 of these if you're gonna make a sweater. However, you won't need to use all 2 as far as I know, because all I have to do is finish the other sleeve, seam everything together, and make a neck. So, and then obviously weave in ends, but that doesn't use any. So that's that. So we have all this yarn still. All this yarn still that's attached to the other sleeve that I'm using. It's just been thrown in the bag, so it's just been kind of a mess. And I still have all this. So we still have a lot. And we already have both of the, and we still have this yarn too. So we have these 2, this one, as well as this one. So there's still like a lot of yarn in here. But the reason why it's not, like I said, it's not 2 skeins is because I did wind some of the balls into yarn cakes. Or the yarn into yarn cakes. Not all of the yarn. I just made 2 yarn cakes out of the skeins because I wanted to make sure that I could use the yarn cakes to make kind of both of the sleeves at the same time, roughly. And that's all I needed, so. So yeah, I was gonna. But yeah, it doesn't look like anyone is going. Doesn't look like anyone's watching. But I did want to show, we did revise the neck because the neck hole was way too wide. Because part of what makes the neck is also the back piece. So it's still the 10, if you saw any of my other lists, it's still the 10 rows tall for the shoulder. It's just a wider shoulder resulting in a smaller opening of the neck, which, because this is like a V-neck and so it hangs down, but I don't want like a drapier neck because it's a sweater, not a shirt. So that is that. So we have this, and I think putting it up to my neck, it is plenty big enough for the neckline. Like, it's kind of the right exact size. So this is working up really nicely. I'm enjoying that. I really like it. It's really nice. And then this is the back, which is the same height as the front panel. It's just, instead of doing shoulders, you just go straight across. but it should hopefully fit. We will see. So we are just going to put this back. The yarn is still attached to this piece, which I do need to take off. And then all the yarn that we're not using will need to go. So we'll leave this out because this is the sleeve that we are going to be using as an example for the other sleeve, just so that we can be sure that the other sleeve is the same size. Now, as you've probably already seen, and I might have already shown it a tiny bit in this video, the other sleeve is worked. It's just not as progressed in length as the finished one. And for size reference, we should figure out. So I'm just going to get them lined up together so they're the exact same, and then kind of hold it up to show you. So the other sleeve is quite a bit bigger, but this one is still more than halfway done, according to this. And I actually have no clue, like the measurements of this, or I did count the stitches, but I forgot. And I did make sure that the stitch count and the actual measurements were basically the same, but by putting them up together and comparing them. So they all have the same stitch count, but I actually don't know, for the finished one, I actually don't know how many rows there is. I didn't count the rows. Because as long as you line them up and everything matches perfectly, and you counted the stitches and the stitch count's the same, and they're the same height, or if they measure the same length, then row count doesn't matter as much when you're making projects for yourself. I mean, it's useful, I'm just saying it's not necessary. So all we have to do is finish this sleeve to match the height of this one, and then we can start stitching the pieces together. But I think before we go too far into stitching it together, I definitely do want to watch a video on how to do the neckline. Not that I don't know how to do a neckline, it's just there's so many styles and varieties of ways you can do a neckline. And I definitely want to make absolute sure that I do a neckline that's going to look really cute for this, and it's going to have a nice style to it, and it's going to be comfortable. Because there's a lot of ways you can do a neckline. So I want to make sure the neckline looks good. So, just to show you guys. Oh my goodness. This is what it looks like open. It does not lay flat. But you saw how it looks like a sleeve when it's closed. This is like a dark blue color, and it's pretty. Honestly, more like a Christmassy lighter blue, though, would be so cute. And you guys, I went to the bank today, as one does, and they have this Christmas tree with a bunch of really cute, like light blue sparkly ornaments. And there's like a little light blue sparkly wiener dog ornament wearing a little hat, and it was so cute. I had to get a picture of it. I had to. It was cute. So yeah, I think I probably have about 15 or 20 more rows left on this. Which, as you can see, I would say it's about depending on how quick you crochet, it's about 2 minutes a row, probably, maybe a little less. if you really focus. Like it's not that long. I like the way it's coming together. I don't know exactly how it's gonna fit when the sides of the sweater are seamed. This yarn is I don't know if you can tell, but it's really freaking stretchy. The stretch factor of this yarn is absurd. Like it's way stretchier than most other acrylics. I that could be considered good or bad, but again, I don't want to speak too much on this yarn because I'm going to be doing a review of it, all of that stuff. I've had enough time using it to formulate a good review. I'm also going to compare these Clover Amour hooks with this off-brand that was gifted to me. Um, can you tell that I've had this hook for 7 years? Not really. You can tell that like the part where it says Clover that's etched on, the part where it says Clover is not engraved. It's just kind of carved on the surface. And so that's not as vibrant. But as far as the size on it, that is actually engraved into it. And so it's very, like, other than the word clover being slightly faded and rubbed on a little bit, it looks pretty close to brand new, I'd say. Like, the wear and tear on this is minimal, and this is one of my most used crochet hooks. One of my most used sizes. So that's really cool. I really, really like that a lot. So, well, we don't have any watchers, so I'm probably gonna go. I did message people, but nobody is, you know, is on here. So yeah, I like. One thing I will say about these hooks that I like that personally is important to me, which it's not that big of a deal. It's just for me, I find it's important. Each hook is a different color. And I don't like them when they're all the same color because then I get bored and it's not as like exciting to crochet with and stuff like that. So I like to have where each hook is a different color and I can look for the most part at the color of the hook and be like, oh, that's my H hook or that's my G hook or whatever. And also, I just think it's more fun, personally. That's kind of an important aspect of hooks for me, is the different colors because I get bored if I'm using a hook that's the same color as the other hooks. Also, they do come with 10 hooks in the set, which I also like. Like, I don't feel any pain right now. Obviously, these hooks aren't going to eliminate 100% of the pain when crocheting, but they do eliminate a lot of the pain. Um, because you can't eliminate all the pain, because to eliminate all the pain, you'd have to not crochet at all. So that's not a possibility, but it does eliminate a lot of the pain. I can crochet for hours with these and not even realize I've been crocheting the whole time. Trust me. I stayed up all night one time crocheting and wasn't even aware that I was up all night crocheting with these. Because like, I did have some pain the next day, but it was minimal. And I was like, oh, I was crocheting all night. And I'm talking like 8 a.m. in the morning all night, like realizing, oh, I should go to bed. What time is it? And then realizing it's 8 a.m. in the morning and like, yeah, like realizing that as a thing. That's just crazy. The comfortability of these is really good. Sometimes though, guys, the last stitch hides and looks like a chain, except it's not. And it's kind of hard to get the tension a little tighter on that last stitch right there. But anyways, this is what it's looking like. We did one row on the live. I'm gonna go because there's nobody watching. So, yeah. That's pretty much it, and then we'll stitch everything together. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys later. Bye.